Hey friends, Derek here from Bomb Socks with a new week of Bomb Bites where we feast upon the words of Christ. And as always, we do it one bite at a time. So I'm excited for this week because we're talking about Joseph of Egypt. This is Genesis 37 to 41. But I do want to backtrack just for this particular lesson today. The Come Follow Me for the previous week was Genesis 28 to 33. This is 37 to 41. So there are some things missing in the 34 to 36 range. And now granted, there's some crazy things in here. There's some sketchy things in here. There's some tragic things in here. But there is one principle that I wanted to focus on that not only gives some storyline, but also gives you a cool little principle. So you go into chapter 35. And what happens in chapter 35 is Jacob and his family, at this point, his 4 wives, Leah, Rachel, Zilpah, and Bilhah, he's got all of them, and his 11 sons at this point. And so they are traveling here. We'll talk in a minute here about why they were traveling. But as you're going through this, you go down to verse 16 of chapter 35, and it says, as they journeyed from Bethel, we'll talk about that, like I said, as they were traveling, Rachel travailed and she had hard labor. So she's pregnant at the time. Verse 17, it came to pass that when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her, fear not, thou shalt have this son also. There's a good midwife there. It came to pass that as her soul was in departing, for she died, that she called his name Ben-Oni, which means son of my sorrows, from the footnotes. But his father called him Benjamin, which means son of my right hand, or son at the right hand. In this horrible time, here's Jacob, who has just lost his, if I can call it, his favorite wife. I don't know, that sounds kind of a weird thing to say, but Rachel passes away there. She's buried there. Jacob sets up a pillar to her grave. Verse 20, it says that is a pillar of Rachel's grave that is still unto this day. And from what I've been told, you can go over to Jerusalem. It's kind of a crazy journey to get there, but you are able to see. And this is a place that's revered by Jews, by Christians, everywhere. So that is Rachel's grave that is available to see. So what you now have here is you have got remember how we talked about baby wars? Let me pull this thing back up right here for a minute. So you have Joseph from Rachel. Joseph means to take away or to gather, which is very unique. We'll talk about that this week as well. Or God will increase. We certainly see that happen with Joseph. And then you've got Benjamin, means son at the right hand. So you put all of this together, and here as a review, you have all of your tribes, the baby wars that we talked about. And it talks about this in chapter 35. It actually lists them. So Leah gives birth to Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. Rachel gives birth to Joseph and Benjamin. Bilhah gives birth to Dan and Naphtali. And Zilpah gives birth to Gad and Asher. So the reason they are traveling in this chapter is they're going back to the place of Bethel. You remember where Jacob had that crazy dream where we brought up nearer my God to thee, how he has that interaction where the covenant is given to him. He sees that stairway to heaven, if you will, and he sees angels descending, and this is where the Lord blesses him. Well, the Lord wants him to go back there. In fact, you go back to verse number 1 of this chapter, and it says, God said unto Jacob, arise, go to Bethel, dwell there, make an altar unto God that appeared unto me when thou fleddest, that's a fun word, from the face of Esau thy brother. And then Jacob said unto his household and to all that are with him, put away the strange gods that are among you, be clean, change your garments, we are going to a sacred place. Arise, go up to Bethel, this is the house of God. I will make there an altar unto God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way which I went. And it is here where the Lord renews that covenant, that Abrahamic covenant that went from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob. In fact, you go to verses 9 through 13 and you see the renewal of that covenant. It's just everything is said again. So as I was thinking about this, I thought, okay, this is Jacob going back to the temple. I am so grateful we've had opportunities to go back to the temple. We go to the temple once and we make those covenants with God. It's outside the temple that we keep those covenants and we keep going back. And so as I read this chapter, it was just cool to see how the Lord wants Jacob to go back to that place. The Lord wants us to go back to the temples. He wants us to go back there often. He wants us to be there, to be able to renew those covenants with us. He wants us to put away our strange gods. And there is evidence that his family, his sons, were probably dealing with some crazy gods by some of the behavior that's going on. Put away those strange gods that are among you. Be clean. Change your garments. Go to a place that is holy. And so That's just a little reminder to me to be able to go back to the temple often. That's where the Lord wants to renew those covenants with us. It's about going to church on Sundays to be able to take the sacrament so the Lord can renew those covenants. We can renew these things because during the week, man, we encounter a lot of strange gods, a lot of dirty things in the world, and it's good to be able to put away those things, to be clean, to be able to present ourselves to the Lord. And I love that little message there. It's a reminder for me to go back to those sacred places where the Lord can continue to make those covenants with me and remind me why he loves me and why he wants to bless me. I hope that helps you guys out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And thank you for sharing these messages. We love that you do that. Go check out our amazingly comfortable gospel-themed socks at bombsocks.com. You guys have a great day. Godspeed. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.